How's it going, everybody? So, Artemis here. If you followed our content, or if you haven't, please follow, share, whatever. The whole 9 yards, if you can, just gets our videos out there. I've seen a lot of content creators, entrepreneurs talk about different aspects of the journey, being a card shop owner or starting your own business and stuff. And what they fail to mention is that there is other aspects to it than just starting. Um, you first have to have a vision, not necessarily end vision, because everything just shifts. It's like you start at the beginning of the river and you start working your way up. I know you're fighting against current. I'll explain that and everything. So first off is paperwork. You got to get paperwork. Even though you are one entity, one person working in the company, you are still considered an employee, no matter what. So you got to get your government licensing, your state licensing. You got to get unemployment, payroll, everything, bookkeeping. So that's nitty gritty of starting off. Is first you got to get all that stuff done. Once you get that stuff done, you do want to separate your finances. You do not want to mix finances because it just makes a big freaking hassle. Just make yourself, easier to navigate the whole process by just splitting. And then, I'm not a tax advisor or accountant or anything, so I'll just, ask them how it's all done. They'll kind of walk you through it and stuff. There's different options that you can work with. Not only that, once you get all that stuff done, then you can look for a place. You can contact a realtor. You can contact different people. Sometimes Facebook is a good source for finding a place, leasing. It is a contract. So that's what I wanted to cover. Is a lot of stuff doesn't get covered. So yes, you want to start this off, but once you get started, it's very hard to get out. And the fact is, you sign the lease, you are committed to carry this lease for the term. So say 6 months down the road, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, or it didn't work out. Guess what? You signed the lease, you had to pay up. That's the fun fact. You got to pay up. Or hey, I have passion, I have vision, I have feelings. End of the day, bills don't have feelings. End of the day, overhead costs don't have feelings. They don't know if you're tired. They don't know if you're sick. So that's straightforward. Get the elephant out of the room. You got to pay. Aside from all that, it does get fun. You get to meet all these sorts of people. You get to make a great place, a great community, great location, and we're back to going up the river. So allocations is horrendous right now, especially if you're starting out with nothing. I suggest you build up your capital as much as you can. So the main reason is there is two forms of allocation. There is how much you order of one product, and overall how much you order from them. So if they don't carry a whole lot of Pokemon and you want to order Pokemon, but you missed this window, guess what? You're ordering binders, booster boxes of some random, TCG, Dragon Shields. Oh my God, they will shove Dragon Shields down your throat as much as they can. And you will eat them and buy them because you had to build your allocation. So, deck boxes, binder sleeves, all sorts of random stuff you will carry in the first couple orders that you put in. Like I said, just to build up that secondary allocation. Not only that, I talked to other card shop owners. They've been on waiting lists for distros for a month, 2 months, 3 months. I personally have been on a waiting list since February of this year. And we are currently in November. So if you do the math, we have not been able to order from this distro at all. Luckily, we have all these other distros that we order from. They are fantastic to work with. And if you want more, help with all that, I will be more than likely to answer your questions. Um, so that is going up the river. Is allocation is incredibly tough right now. A lot of other card shops will buy collections from other people. Some of them have pivoted to carry only more singles while they work on their sealed because they only get one or two boxes of one thing and stuff like that. So they're kind of just shifting into, hey, I'm just gonna carry a bunch of singles and then make up the difference. So that's what I mean is a lot of videos don't cover like bits and pieces of this. Another thing is you will want a couch in your shop somewhere. I cannot tell you how many people I've talked to that do this full time that or even part-time. They're like, I have a couch in my office, I have a couch in the break room, I have a couch somewhere where I take a nap because I am here for hours pricing cards, doing other stuff. Like we do so much, let alone like I do content creating, some other owners do content creating, so that takes even more time. But at the same time we're still like working on all this. Even if you have employees, you're still in the weeds trying to get stuff done. And that's what's not covered is like work-life balance. Yeah, okay. That's important. Don't get me wrong, it is important. When you first start, that does not exist. Like, oh my god. I tell you what, like I talk to so many people and they're like, if I take a day off, that's a day that I'm losing on sales. That's a day I'm not working on the business. That's a day that I could have been doing this or I could have been doing that. And you do get burned out, but the first like month or two, it's nothing but go go go. Building shelves, building this, building that. We just moved into a new facility and we're tearing down walls. We're putting up walls. We're changing this. We're changing that. We're reassessing how our layout is constantly. So that's what I mean. Is a lot of these videos don't cover a whole lot of what to expect. They just kind of tell you, oh, these are the 5 things that you need to get started for your card shop. Not the here is the 5 things that will impact you in your first 3 months of your card shop. Like I said, build as much capital as you think. I know some have started with 15,000. That's a very very low number. Especially like depending on what your rent is and where your location is. For bigger cities, it could be overhead cost of 5, 6, 7,000 before you even order any product. So build your capital. Inventory, like build up your inventory. Have that safety of like the first 6 months. I have inventory I can just shove in shelves, and then hopefully it sells. I hope it sells for you. I hope you sell out every single shelf. But in reality, it's like until you get that distro allocations, you will be swimming upriver. And I've talked to other card shop owners that have started back in like 21, 19, 18, 2015, that have been around for a long time. And they're like, if I had to do it again, I would probably be the same where I'm at now with the knowledge that they have. And I told them, I was like, okay, well, when you first started, how much product could you order? And they're like, oh, I could order anything I want. And I'm like, that's the main difference. Is like back then, the hobby wasn't this popular. Now it's really popular and everyone's just ordering left and right. There's so many card shops. I cannot tell you enough that there is so many card shops that have opened up. They're, spiking in the boom. And slowly, when we start pulling back, you'll notice that a lot of them will have empty shelves. You'll notice that their inventory is kind of just retracting back, just because their margins are slowly shifting. And that brings me to another topic, too. Once you get to the point where you can actually, relax, breathe, stuff is working out. It's not. Just remember, everything that goes up must come down. And once you get to the peak where you're like ordering so much stuff, um, depends on like where your allocations are ending at. If you order one set heavily, it doesn't do too good, so you got to pivot to the other set that's doing, incredibly and not doing so good. So it's an on and off. It's a constant, in and out. So you put in effort, you get out effort. You put in effort, you get out effort. It's not like, okay, I just can just sit back, kosher, let it all run. I tried that. It kind of just went downhill. I was like, damn it, I got to get back in there. So yeah, it's on and off switch. There's no like slow. There's no yellow. It's green, red, green, red, green, red. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to cover. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message. Say, hey, I saw your video. Um, what do you use for insurance? What do you use for bookkeeping? What's your point of sale? What dishes should I go for? What do you order from? How are your allocations looking like for X amount? Like we can get more Pokemon than we can Gundam. I don't know why that's a thing. Or we can get astronomical numbers for Riftbound and not get astronomical numbers for Pokemon. Which I mean, Pokemon I understand, but you know what I mean. Like it's all over the place right now, depending on the set, depending on the month, depending on like what's going on, what's happening. But that is all I wanted to talk about is the ins and outs of that's not covered in other videos or other contents. But regardless, I hope you chase the dream. I chase the dream. I'm still here. It's a struggle every day, every month, but hey, we're making it. We're getting it done. Like I said, once you get started, it's very, very hard to get out. So a lot of them are like, oh, you know what? It didn't work out. I can just call it quits. I can just, walk away from it. No, you can't. You sign the lease. You have all these, allocations, all these bills you got to pay up. It's not as easy as, jumping from one job to the other, owning your own entrepreneurship business full time is a commitment. So be ready for a commitment. Be resourceful. There is a lot of resources. Other card shop owners like myself are a resource. So reach out, use us if you can. Most card shop owners will happily discuss stuff with you unless they're doing some shady stuff that they don't want to cover or they don't want to let out, whatever. Um, so if you want to leave a comment, feel free to leave a comment. If you want to private message me, I don't care. I'll be around. My name is Artemis. Please follow, like, share this video if you can. I know there's going to be a lot of negativity, a lot of negative comments, a lot of negative responses and stuff, but this is my first point of view of what it takes to be a card shop owner in all reality. No sugarcoating. Not telling you, oh, it's the greatest thing in the world. It does have its good moments, watching everybody come in and play and enjoy a good time. Those are the greatest moments that I will hold dear in my heart, watching all the smiles. But at the end of the day, like I said, bills got to get paid. Stuff has to get moving. You got to get stuff done. So with that, Artemis, I got stuff I got to get done.